Well, let's get started. Hello, my name is Desi Eckstein, and I am with Women in Drones, and we are working together with the InterDrone. And it is my pleasure to be speaking with Roger Nunneman. He is the Vice President of Aquiline Drones and Flight to the Future. Welcome aboard here, Roger, and it's so good to be speaking with you.
Hi, Desi. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about the Flight to the Future and the program that you're offering?
Sure. Let me start off by talking a little bit about Aquiline drones. We're a new company that's risen very, very quickly. We entered incubation about 5 years ago, and we launched to the public 2 years ago in January of 2019, just shy of 2 years. And we're firmly established as the fastest growing drone company in the entire United States. Specifically, Flight to the Future, which is one very, very important portion of our business, is the opportunity to take anybody who has an interest in a career in drones and commercial UAV space, or may have already been operating in the commercial UAV space, and go ahead and train them in an aviation style program to an aviation standard that far exceeds the FAA, and get them to run their own business in the gig economy, very, very similar to somebody driving a car working for Uber.
Wow, so it's all inclusive, your program is.
That's right, it's completely turnkey. So it's a 4-step program. Step one is training to pass the FAA exam, and actually training far beyond the knowledge that's needed just to pass the exam, and give you everything that you need to be safe and FAA compliant, compliant with regulation when you actually go out in the field and start operating. Step two is learning our complete software suite, all cloud-based on our dashboard, that handles every aspect of the mission, up to and including command and control, data capture, storage, manipulation, everything. A lot of these missions that the Flight to the Future pilots are going to go out and fly, it's simply going to be a situation where they're deploying the drone. The drone takes off, does its thing. They'll monitor and be able to step in if necessary, and then the drone will land itself, and then they'll simply collect it. Step three is learning an industry-specific solution based on where it is that they want to operate and what they want to do. Things like videography, perimeter security, precision agriculture, and crop and vegetation monitoring, and the like. There's 6 different ones to choose from, and that's all done in step 3. Step 4 is where we really go above and beyond. And you can register. We will register your own LLC on your behalf. We'll teach you the fundamentals of business 101. We will equip you with insurance. We'll equip you with the drone. We'll equip you with the cloud subscription. We'll handle everything, and we'll also onboard you to receive steady supply of jobs through the Drone on Demand app. So you literally build your own business without having to be a businesswoman or a businessman. It sheds all of that, and you can spend all of your time simply on flying and earning. And these jobs pay extremely well. You'll earn a minimum of $300 per job. That's the absolute floor. You'll frequently, or maybe even always, be earning more than that.
So tell me a little bit more about that step 3. So it includes, as part of that step 3, the various aspects of the industry and the directions that they may want to be working in.
That's right, Desi. Yes, and I can't remember all 6, so I actually wrote it down here.
Okay.
Just to be sure. But the 6 that we're currently offering represent over 90% of the commercially viable solutions under the current regulation. And as that regulation, changes and opens up, so will the different services that are provided. But the 6 that you can choose from now are videography, survey and mapping, perimeter security, asset inspection, livestock and wildlife monitoring, and crop and vegetation monitoring. I did say precision agriculture. That really wasn't the right term that I should use. It's actually crop and vegetation monitoring. And in order to inform that decision, because the amount of need for each of those does vary somewhat with geography, not a whole lot of crop and vegetation monitoring in Midtown Manhattan. we give you our opportunity map. We've invested a lot of time and money researching every county in the entire United States, and you can go ahead and go county by county, whichever one you want to, wherever you want to operate, and you can apply 6 different filters, one for each of those use cases, and see just exactly how strong the demand is for each of those before you decide what it is you want to specialize in.
Wow, that's wonderful. How about our step 4 that you have? So I know one of the hardest parts is actually getting the company going and starting with, you mentioned the LLC and all that. That is one of the most difficult sides for some people when they're starting out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's completely foreign to anybody who's never started a business before. We handle all of that. We register the LLC. It's not a franchise. That is there for the flight to the future pilot, okay? The flight to the future independent business owner. As I'm sure you know, Desi, as an entrepreneur yourself, it's very important that you have an LLC structure. It provides a very powerful liability protection for the business owner, and it also provides really powerful tax advantages as well. We go ahead and register that for them on their behalf in their domicile, in their county, or wherever it is that they want it registered. We teach them a little business 101. This is kind of going above and beyond because we are using the gig economy model, but we teach them, how to track their finances and their expenses, accounting 101, client management, and the sort. So everybody who's working in the UAV space, in the drone space now, they're working in a cutting edge industry, an industry that didn't exist in the US 4 years ago, but they've had to build their business the same way businesses have been built over the last 1,000 years, the old fashioned way. They had to go out, knock on doors, do networking, right? Invest in advertising, invest in a website, search engine optimization, all of that. It's very, very expensive, both in terms of cost and in terms of time. Through the gig economy approach, we handle it all, just the way Uber handles it all for their drivers. So they don't have to deal with any of that. They can just simply go out and earn. Now, that being said, there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who want to go bigger that are running through the program. I have a friend, he's in North Carolina. He was one of the first students in there. He's actually also a United Airlines pilot. He's running through the program, and he's running 3 of his friends through the program. And he wants to own the market that he's in. And he's just going to simply manage them when he goes back to flying for United. And he's going to go ahead and take the jobs, all that the 3 of them, the 4 of them can handle through Drone On Demand app. And he's also going to leverage his contacts in the community to go ahead and get contracts outside of that. And he's absolutely free to do that. He can use the insurance, the hardware, the cloud, everything, the LLC structure, and he can go ahead and negotiate those contracts. And that's for him to do. So you can go as big as you want, you can go as small as you want, or you can go somewhere in between. It's all about flexibility.
Awesome. So your friend, I'm sure, would really appreciate this side of things, and as do I, because I love to talk about the safety aspects of it. One of the things that you mentioned in the very beginning was the standards of safety being that of manned aviation in the industry. And so can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Of course. So we are at Aquiline, we are aviators, first and foremost. The CEO and founder, Barry Alexander, 747 pilot. I'm a 747 pilot, and we have an airline certificate. We're one of only 4 drone companies in the United States that are a 135 airline certificate by the FAA that has drones, not just manned aircraft, on the certificate. The other 3, you may have heard of them: UPS, Amazon, and Google. So we're in a very, very small group because that's a very high bar to achieve, but it's necessary. Because we approach it as an airline, we can control every aspect of the process. We do our own manufacturing. We manufacture our own drones. Here's an example of one behind me, the Hercules 2, right here in Connecticut. We handle the maintenance. We handle the insurance. We handle the training. We handle everything. We're one point of accountability. And it's extremely important to do that because that is how you maximize safety. That's how the airlines have operated for 100 years, and that's how airline safety in the US is the envy of the world. Right now, what you have going on in the drone industry is a patchwork. You've got dozens or hundreds of players out there that focus on one piece. One focuses on manufacturing, one focuses on design, one focuses on operation. And you've got training standards that are all over the place. Some training is very good, other training is minimal. It doesn't take a whole lot just to get that FAA exam. It certainly doesn't take everything that you need to be safe when you're out in the field. So because we own the entire ecosystem and we're the only ones that we're aware of who do that, we have tremendous control and tremendous quality assurance. That's why we're able to offer the insurance. It's a $10 million liability policy as part of the program, when anybody else out there is charging in excess of $2,300 a year. It's because we have control of the entire system, we have an aviation safety mindset, and we have the loss mitigation controls every step of the way. Nobody else has that.
Wonderful. Awesome. It sounds like an amazing program that you have. So I would like to maybe wrap it up with one final question. And being from Women in Drones, we like to highlight the gender balance in this industry. And I was wondering if you any one tip or anything for women who are trying to pursue a career in this industry.
I'm so glad you asked about that. Of course, we full disclosure, we partnered. Aquiline Drones is a sponsor of Women in Drones. We're very, very proud of that. And taking that step to put ourselves out there and back Women in Drones publicly and financially is certainly a part of that conversation. Aquiline Drones is a minority-owned business. We have seen an interesting trend. You know, we know coming from the airlines that around 10% or so of the commercial aviation pilots in this country are women, a very, very low percentage. And we've been seeing, as far as the early enrollment with Flight to the Future, that statistic is holding up in commercial UAV space as well. Roughly 10% of the students going through Flight to the Future are women. So we want to work very aggressively, and we are, to go ahead and bring that ratio closer to a 50-50 balance. And how do we do that? Well, we reach out and partner with Women in Drones. We've also put women in very key positions here at Aquiline. Two of the members of our C-suite, our Chief Communications Officer, and two of our directors, they're all women. And our Chief Cloud Architect, I forgot to mention that too. So 2 C-suite offices, and 2 directors positions with more to come. And so they're out there in the public, they're interfacing with the public, they're doing interviews themselves, and having women in these key positions is really, really helpful to inspire other women to come in. Right now, we're ramping up in a big way our manufacturing in Connecticut. We found that for the engineering and the tech side of the drones, we found that women really exceed on the whole what men are able to do in those fields. That's something that a lot of people might not think about. So any woman who's looking into Aquiline Drones or the commercial UAV space in general should approach it with confidence, because this is absolutely something that they can do. And certainly with Aquiline, you'll find a partner, very nurturing environment, but you have to walk through the door. Yeah, you have to show up. But when you do, even if it might seem daunting from the outside looking in, you're going to find an environment that you're likely to really thrive in.
Well, that's wonderful. And we thank you for the support and great advice for the women out there. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for the information. And we're just going to look forward to putting this out there for you. And we hope for great success with your program.
Well, thank you so much, Desi. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
While the operator is in a remote location, there's a person launching the drone at the remote site